Well, this is where we have problems because this package deal is giving us so much hassle, is it not? Because we have been conditioned to think like that. Every aspect of our upbringing is conditioned.
So, could you just start off with introducing us with telling us who you are and how old you are?
My name is Bahadur Singh and I will be touching 59 this year.
And if you wouldn't mind, could you please tell us why you thought it was important to be involved in this project?
Yes, I think everyone should be happy. Everyone deserves to be happy. Everybody needs happiness. It's a fundamental human necessity to coexist, to live, to love life. Every moment, every breath, every second is ticking away. And sometimes we have to look at ourselves and how many moments of happiness did we truly enjoy. So this is the reason why I am part of this project.
Okay, so before we go into the main topic of this video, could you just give us a bit of a background, a brief summary of your travels, where you were born, where you've lived, and just your upbringing up to this point we're at now?
Sure, yes, I was born in India. I spent, I think, around 3 years in India after my birth, and then came into England. I spent the first few years in London, and then we moved into the Midlands. And since then, I received my education in this country. I did my business in this country, and this country has been part and parcel of my whole life.
And could you tell us what it was like growing up in this country as a turban-wearing bearded Sikh?
It was hard. It was very hard. Due to economic reasons, parents went into the poorest areas, and those areas had their own issues: violence, drugs, discrimination, many issues. The school that I went into, there was only maybe 4 or 5 Asians in a school of maybe 800, after which I was the only one with a turban. So needless to say, it was very tough.
So you've had your fair share of different experiences throughout life, reaching to the point you are now. Can you give us maybe a couple of, defining moments, or a couple of things that stand out to you of situations of note, maybe something that's gone wrong or some sort of trial or tribulations you had to go through?
Yes, it was just a consistent harassment. You couldn't walk down the street. Every day was a trial, every day was a tribulation. You couldn't go to the shop without being abused or physically attacked, or somebody going out to touch your turban, or in the worst case to remove. So it wasn't one day, it wasn't one particular instance, it was generally the lifestyle at that time.
Now at the stage you're at, are there any messages you would tell your younger self to help you go through any particular things that you struggled to go through in your younger, or situations that were difficult for you? Now, if you had a chance to go back in time and speak to yourself, a younger version of yourself, before you went through those difficult times, what would you tell that younger version of yourself?
I think maybe develop more tolerance, maybe to be able to see things in a different way. Because if you look at fire, and the more you feed this fire, the worse the flames become. And again, I feel that when you are young, you're angry, you have much energy. And when you're feeding that energy with more anger, more negativity, then I guess the instability of the mind becomes that much more intense. So I wish I'd understood that when I was young, and looked at what I was feeding into myself, as opposed to just reacting to the situation at that time.
And there's going to be a lot of young viewers looking at this, a lot of people of different backgrounds, different cultures, different religions, even those of no religion. What keys would you say for a successful, happy life, or to get that happiness, that peace, that contentment that you discussed at the start of this video? What would you say, in your opinion, the keys to having that are?
I think human beings find it difficult to operate with an understanding that ultimately we have nothing in our control. And when we exert control, that is where the source of all our frustrations lie. Whether it's within our family, within our friends, within our social structure. I think when we feel that we're under control of the situation or of a relationship, then I think that becomes a source of bitterness and a lot of frustrations. Learn to accept, learn to let go, learn to realize that there is actually nothing really under our control. This concept of control is no more than maybe just an illusion. So basically relax. What's going to happen will happen. What will be, will be. That doesn't take the responsibility away. One has to be responsible. But when that responsibility is executed with an understanding that this must be the result of this responsibility, then that is where our frustrations lie. So do not look at the results, become responsible, but ultimately understand that there is not much within our control.
And would you say that to you is the biggest key to happiness?
Absolutely. I mean, what are relationships? You have love, and then you have the dark side of love. So you could love somebody intensely, like many relationships start off with, but then there's a dark side to that love, which is jealousy, frustration, envy, bitterness. So, yes, but if you can love without trying to exert control, then there will be no envy, there will be no anger, there will be no frustrations in that relationship. Relationships break because of the anger, the expectations, and the control. Let that go and learn to love in a different way. You will find your relationship far better, far more stable, far more harmonious, and you will certainly find the peace of mind within you as well.
Is it possible, in your opinion, to be able to actually love without all those extra facets to love? Or do you think they'd not come as part and parcel of the same thing, like a package deal?
Well, this is where we have problems, because this package deal is giving us so much hassle, is it not? Because we have been conditioned to think like that. Every aspect of our upbringing is conditioned. And it's the conditioning which is the problem. Uncondition yourself. Free yourself. It doesn't make you a lesser husband or a lesser wife or a lesser son. What it means is the very thing which is actually creating you pain is not part of the equation.
Okay. And what would you say, in your opinion, how is the best way to achieve that?
Self-reflection. Complete self-reflection. Everybody's entitled to breathe. Nobody is a clone of anybody else. The husband does not own the wife. The wife does not own the husband. We do not own our children. We have responsibilities. And when you start freeing your mind from the bondages of control and expectations, today I love you, tomorrow I hate you. Today you are mine, tomorrow I don't want to know who you are. This is fluctuating love. This is going from the dark side to the light side, from the dark side to the light side. This is a sort of love that keeps us in bondage. This is a type of love which keeps us in perpetual disharmony of the mind. You can become a beautiful human being just by learning to love, by detaching yourself from the negative side.
Okay. Is there any final comments you'd like to give before this video finishes?
Life is priceless. Every breath is priceless. You can be a multi-millionaire, a multi-billionaire, but at the last moment, your money will not be able to buy you one single breath. Not one. So ask one question. Something which is so rare, why are we just flittering it away in discord, anger, frustration? Why? Become like a flower that gives fragrance to all. It's surrounded by thorns, but yet it holds its own beauty. Become like that tree that gives shade to all. Be rooted in your own self-confidence. Be rooted in your own values. Be rooted to love which is not polluted by conditioning.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.